Okay, we're now on the record for Thursday afternoon's criminal docket, September 2nd, 2021. And I'll start with quick announcements. Attorney Daniel Longoria.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm here on number 19 through 22, Gina Guzman. Judge, she's not present. She's in the federal custody. In fact, today at 2 o'clock, I was in the federal court today, and I was talking to her, and at 2 o'clock, she's supposed to enter her plea of guilty to her federal case. And so that's why she's not here.
Okay. Do you know, is she being sentenced to time, or will she be released, or?
Your Honor, Roel Esquivel represents her on that case, but what I had reached out to the felony prosecutors is that, in my opinion, she was going to be getting around 2 years, more or less. I talked to her, and she said, according to the guidelines, her attorney, who has worked up the guidelines for that case, is looking at 18 to 24 months. But she won't be sentenced till November, about November the 16th or 17th, probably, Judge, because I did some pleas today, and those were the dates I was getting. So I'm sure she'll get the same dates. But again, I'm not her attorney on the federal case.
Okay. Well, why don't you just come back on December the 2nd, and let's see what happens to her in November.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that'll be well, since it'll be a status and she's going to be in custody, we'll just do it at 9:30.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't anticipate.
I'm sorry, Judge, if I could just clarify, it was probably 18 to 24 months jail time on the federal case.
That he's not the attorney of record, but that's what she had indicated to him.
Yeah, and in my experience, that's more or less around there.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll come back on December 2nd at 9:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, that's all you have.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Usually pack my docket.
And I'm fully clothed.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, Attorney Mauricio Martinez.
Good afternoon, Judge. Fully closed as well.
Thank you.
I've got Manuel Medrano Lopez. He should be on the second page for you if it's the same as me. I see him on the screen. It looks like he's blacked out, but it looks like he is connected to audio.
Okay, Mr. Medrano, can you please turn on your video? What number are you on the court's docket?
I apologize. I don't have that answer. Let me see.
Number 44, Judge.
Number 44, Judge. Definitely ready.
Okay, Mr. Medrano, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's CR 21-03124-I, Manuel Medrano Lopez. What's your announcement, counselor?
Judge, we have been speaking to Ms. Guareña regarding a possible ADR. We just submitted everything via email yesterday or the day before. So now I think the state just needs a little bit of time to make up their mind.
Okay, Ms. Guareña, how much time do you think we're looking at?
Judge, I think this should be dismissed administratively, so no more than 2 weeks, this case will be resolved.
Okay, I'll go ahead and put a tickler for September the 24th, just to see if the dismissal has been filed.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Medrano will be in contact.
All right, thank you.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Martinez?
Nothing else on your docket this afternoon, Judge. May we be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you all again.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Austin Oxford.
Good afternoon, Judge. Long time no see. I've got number 57 on the court's criminal docket, State of Texas versus Elizabeth Vargas. That's CR 20-07260I. Judge, this is a case that Mr. Chapo was handling, but he had to go to a doctor's appointment. He did state to me that we would be asking for a trial setting. And in the interim, I can get with Ms. Guareña and see if we can't work something out.
Okay, so then that's on CR 20-07260-I, and is Ms. Vargas present?
I did see her on the second page, Judge.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, ma'am, please turn on your camera. Okay, and so, so do you want me to give you this? you want me to give you another status date to see? I mean, I can push you far out if you're gonna be asking for a trial setting.
Yes, Judge, that's fine. It's my understanding that we're not getting jury panels until the very earliest next month, and I'm skeptical about that.
Yeah. Okay, so you do know that she's PTD eligible.
Yes, Judge, and I can, I don't know, maybe if I speak with Ms. Garenia, I may have some better luck than Billy.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead and I'll give you, let's come back on November the 18th. I'm gonna set you for a status at 9:30. And that'll give you some time to talk to her and see if she wants to pursue that. If not, if your announcement at that time will be for a trial setting, maybe we'll have more news.
Very well, Judge. That concludes my business before this honorable court. Myself and my client be excused.
Yes,
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day, both of you and your staff.
likewise. Attorney Armando Escamilla?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm here on number 40 on the docket, Eleazar Cervantes Jr.
Okay, CR 20-05469-I, and is Mr. Cervantes present?
Your Honor, I do not see him, I'm afraid. And I really don't have an answer for that. He did submit the application for PTD, Your Honor. It was approved. And at the last setting, he was to contact to make payment on that contract. And to be honest with you, Judge, I have not been in touch with him since then. I would ask the court to allow me a couple of weeks, if possible, to make contact with my client and see where this matter is.
Okay, well, he had notice of the setting. So did he just stop communicating with you?
Your Honor, I have made efforts. He kind of did.
Okay. Ms. Wadena, do you see if by chance he made any payment on with this
No,
PTD?
Judge, no payment has been made.
Okay. And do you show that he's been approved?
Yes, Judge, he has been approved. We emailed the PTD payment letters, so that's all that we're needing is the payment in order to proceed with the paperwork for placement.
I'm gonna give him, not you, I'm gonna give him one last opportunity because he was actually approved for it and he's looking at a nice eye right now, but I'll give you September the 16th at 1:30. And he needs to have it taken care of by then. If not, he needs to appear and let us know why he hasn't taken care of it.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I really appreciate this. I will make sure that he appears next time.
Okay, and he does need to be present or else I will take the nice eye at that time.
Thank you, Judge. That's the only matter I have before this court. May I be excused?
You certainly may. Okay, Attorney Sophia Arispe?
Yes, Judge. I do have number 26 and number 27 on the court's docket, Judge State versus Luis Alonso Moreno.
Okay, and is Mr. Moreno still in custody?
And that is correct, Judge. I did file yesterday 2 waivers of arraignment on him.
Okay. Now on the DWI, we only accept waivers of arraignment if there's proof of a device. Was something attached to that waiver for proof?
Judge is in county jail, Judge. So he doesn't have a device.
Okay. Mr. Moreno, does he speak English or Spanish?
Spanish, Judge.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and arraign him on the DWI. I'll accept the waiver of arraignment on CR 21-08946-I. Ms. Castaneda, please translate for him to raise his right hand.
Mr. Moreno, por favor, levante su mano derecha.
And ask him, does he swear that the testimony he's about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Jura que el testimonio que está a punto de dar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, he may lower his hand.
¿Puede bajar su mano?
In CR 21-08945-I, the state of Texas versus Luis Alonso Moreno. Is that his true and correct name?
Luis Alonso Moreno, ¿ese es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí.
Yes.
You're before the court charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor.
Está usted frente a la corte por una cargo de manejar intoxicado, un delito menor clase B.
And that carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction.
Una ofensa menor clase B tiene una multa potencial de hasta 6 meses en la cárcel del condado de Hidalgo y una multa de hasta $2,000 por convicción.
Ask him if he understands that range of punishment.
¿Entiende usted el rango de castigo que puede recibir por lo que está acusado?
Sí.
Yes.
Has any court ever declared him to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane?
¿Alguna corte lo ha declarado a usted mentalmente incompetente, loco o demente?
No.
No.
Okay, Ms. Arispe, speaking to your client, do you find him to be competent and able to assist you in his own defense?
He is, Your Honor.
At this time, then the court will enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of Mr. Moreno. Okay, so how much time do you need, Ms. Arispe?
Judge, I know there was a felony attached to this case. I've not been able to locate it, so I don't know if it was dismissed or somewhere else, Judge. So that's all I was waiting for.
What does the state show?
Judge, it's still being held at intake. He has a felony evading that's at intake. He does have a felony that's been filed, but there's no date on that felony.
Okay, and what is that felony's case number?
It is the CR 2599-20-E.
Okay, so he still has another one pending at intake.
Yes, correct, Judge.
Okay,
But he is only being held on these misdemeanor cases.
okay. Does he have an ICE hold?
Let me verify that one moment, Judge. He does not have an ICE hold, Judge.
Okay. So Ms. Arispe, you want to come back in about 30 days or so?
That would be good, Judge.
Okay, October 7th at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, you may, and so may Mr. Moreno. Okay, Attorney Joe Reyna?
Good afternoon, Judge. I've got number 1 on your docket.
Okay, CR 21-08630-I, Mark Anthony Garces. Is Mr. Garces present?
He is. I don't think he's going to be, Judge. I've got him listed as homeless, so I don't have any contact information for him. He was released on a PR bond maybe a week and a half ago.
So you've had no contact with him?
He has not called me, Judge. I did leave him a business card before he left custody.
So then he's not aware of today's hearing date?
I don't know that the clerk would have known where to mail him a letter, Judge, if he's homeless. I don't know if he gave the address on the bond. I don't have access to his bond information.
Okay, do you want to request some time to see if you can locate him?
We could, Judge. I mean, however you want to proceed is fine with me.
Well, I don't want to take a nice eye out on him if he hasn't had.
If he
proper
didn't get notice. I agree.
So I can give you some time. I can give you the notice. I mean, I can set him up with our next arraignments that we're having coming up. And then you can, if you get an address, write him a letter or do something. Because it is his responsibility to keep his bail bondsman updated, or at least if you went to go visit him. So he should have at least given you the courtesy of updating you on his contact information. So
he advised that he was homeless, Judge, so I left him a business card. And as far as I don't know what address he gave on the bond. It's a PR bond.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Your Honor did sign an order for a PR bond, and the court did leave in within the order. I'm not sure if the jail gave it to him, advising him of the setting via Zoom.
Okay, so he had notice on the release papers? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, but it does state that it's going to be on September the 7th at 9:30 in the morning.
Okay, I'll still give you an opportunity, Mr. Reina. When is our next arraignments in the afternoon, Ms. Rivera?
October the 7th, Your Honor.
Okay. October 7th at 1:30, Mr. Reina.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have. May I have the excuse?
You certainly may.
Have a good day.
Attorney Jose Osuna?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jose Osuna for the record. We have number 24 and number 25, State of Texas versus Adrian Mendiola, CR 21-03529I and CR 20-08926I. Mr. Mendiola is detained. Your Honor, Mr. Mendiola has a felony that has been indicted and one that has not. The indicted felony is set for the 8th, but because there is a felony that has not yet been indicted, we're asking for some time, Your Honor, maybe 30 to 45 days to allow that situation to develop.
Okay. Then come back on October the 28th at 1:30.
Yes, Your Honor. I have nothing further, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Attorney Jaime Hernandez?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd be standing in for Attorney Melissa Canales on 2 defendants. That's numbers 14, 15, 16, and 17. State of Texas versus Alejandro Gonzalez.
Okay, that's CR 20-1060-I, CR 19-10853-I, CR 21-0668-I, and CR 21-0669-I. And is Mr. Gonzalez present?
Your Honor, I think that one's I'm not sure if that's a jail case. I believe it's a jail case.
I don't have him down as a jail case. Is he now in custody?
I'm not entirely sure, Judge.
He was released, Your Honor.
He is not,
Okay.
Judge.
He is not in custody, sir.
Okay, Judge. With that being said, I don't know if the court would allow Ms. Canales more time. My understanding is he has a felony pending out of the 139th.
Okay, but I believe this gentleman had received notice of today's hearing. But can somebody let me know, did I give Mr. Gonzalez notice of the hearing on the record the last time?
He was incarcerated at that moment, Judge, so I would assume that you did.
Okay. While he was incarcerated, he had a setting in front of me, Mr. Hernandez, and I gave him that date. So he didn't have notice of today's setting. I'll give a very quick reset date so that I have him before me because he bonded out. Now he needs to show that he's able to come to court or else I can revoke that bond.
Understood.
So he needs to appear on September 14th at 1:30. If he's not here, I'm going to issue a NISI.
Thank you, Judge. I also have number 47, Judge. And again, that's also for Attorney Melissa Canales.
Number 47?
Correct.
Okay, that's CR 21-00267-I, State of Texas versus Mario Ortega. Mr. Ortega, are you present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and what is your announcement, Counselor?
Your Honor, my understanding is Ms. Canales's office signed the plea paperwork and submitted that to the DA's office. I'm not sure if it's ready for a plea or not.
Okay, Ms. Wadenia, do you show that he's ready for a PTD placement or did he opt for a plea?
He's going to be placed on the DWI court, Judge, so this is going to be a transfer to CC7.
Okay. Do you know how long I can set a tickler out for just to make sure that he's been accepted?
It looks like they're just waiting on the transfer, Judge, so I would say no more than 2 weeks. Paperwork has already been received from defense counsel, so they're just waiting for the transfer.
Okay, I'll set a tickler for myself for September 24th just to make sure that he's already been transferred to court 7.
Thank you, Judge. And that'll be a tickler for the court, not a status.
Correct.
Okay, Judge, and that's all I have, Your Honor. If I may be, please excuse.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. You all have a wonderful day.
You too. Attorney Leo Prunella? Mr. Prunella? Mr. Prunella, I'm not sure.
ma'am.
Okay, there you
Yes,
go.
there you go. I couldn't get it
Okay.
on mute.
What case?
It's number 20 on your docket list, Your Honor, Luis Cifuentes, all the way to 31, 29 to 31. It's 29, 30, and 31.
Okay, so I think I need some clarification. I do also have Attorney Chris Sully on.
Right, he was appointed by the court, and on the last hearing, I announced to the court that Mr. Trevino, who actually has lead attorney, had informed me to notify the court that he would be withdrawing. There was a motion to withdraw and an order setting hearing from those 3 cases. I was somehow listed in county court, I think it was 6 or 7 at one point as attorney of record, but it should have been Mr. Roel Trevino. And Mr. Trevino is no longer going to be representing him. I think he's advised Mr. Cifuentes of that. I don't know if he's been given a copy of the motion to withdraw, but it has been filed, Judge.
Okay, I believe we were just pending the order on the withdrawal to be submitted to us. However, since we have both you and Mr. Sully on, just for clarification, Mr. Sully, you will be substituting and you'll be representing Mr. Cifuentes on all his misdemeanor cases that are before me today, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. Assuming the court were to appoint me, my understanding is Mr. Trevino is withdrawing, and based on that, I took the liberty of signing up Mr. Cifuentes for a plea to dispose of all of his cases, Your Honor.
Okay, so just for clarification and to clean this up, it'll be on CR 160483-I, CR 16071113-I, and CR 1710955-I in the state of Texas versus Luis Cifuentes. The court will grant Mr. Roel Trevino's request to withdraw, and the court is going to further appoint Attorney Chris Sully on those 3 cases.
And Your Honor, just to keep it all clean and everything, we did file a motion on my behalf as attorney to withdraw. So there should be another motion and an order.
And the court will grant that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. So Mr. Cifuentes is the first time that I saw Mr. Cifuentes, he was sitting next to Mr. Prunella, and now I'm seeing him incarcerated. So I admonished him, and obviously he didn't learn. So, but I'll take him up shortly. Mr. Sully, he's ready on his plea, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, he is signed up.
Okay, Mr.
May I be
Prunella,
excused, sir?
yes, I was
Pardon?
just going to ask you that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll take you up momentarily, Mr. Cifuentes. Attorney Arturo Cantu?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have Elias Aceves, and so does Robert Puente. He's got their cases 2 through 9.
Yes,
have 4.
okay. And is Mr. Aceves in your custody, deputy?
He's here, but they didn't bring him yet.
Okay, so he hasn't been brought over?
No,
Are they bringing him to you?
they were gonna try to bring him to the end because he gets a little disruptive.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Well, let me go ahead and take the announcement. If it's necessary, we'll bring him forward, and if not, we can go ahead and leave him there. So, okay, so Mr. Cantu and Mr. Puente, what are we doing on the cases?
On cases number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6, I'm asking for trial dates on those cases, and also asking the court to grant them PR. Well, on case number 3, he already has a PR bond on that case. That's a 2018 case. The other 3 cases, he's got cash or surety bonds. I'm asking for a PR bonds on case number 4 that's on the court's docket, CR 2105527I. My calculations are he has been in jail 97 days. he had, in that case, the court had lowered the bond from 15,000 to $2,500, and on June 17th, I believe, he was able to make the bond on June 23rd. And then he got arrested on the motions to revoke, so the bondsman filed a verification, so he needs to make that bond again. And then on the two new charges, he's got a $2,000 cash or surety. He's got 47 days on each of those two cases. That's number 5 and number 6. He's got mental problems. He does take medication from MHMR. He's got a felony in the 370th. Judge Gonzalez gave him a PR bond on August 11th on that case. And so.
Okay, but
That's-
these are a lot of cases. The gentleman has mental issues. He has a felony that is pending. I mean, can't anything be done as far as seeing if he will take a plea or, I mean, there's very good recommendations here. Have you all discussed it with him, or Mr. Puente, do you want to chime in?
Yes, Your Honor. Seeing that I have motion to revoke, he's getting jail credit for those, and those I understand from the DA are not going to be used as a basis to revoke him on the felony. So if the court would reset him on number 7, number 8, and number 9 at the court's earliest convenience, I can get him signed up for those, since those are motions to revoke, and they're recommending time served pending the court's approval. That would dispose at least of those 3. And I also request, I think he does have a PR bond, but I didn't check, Your Honor, I apologize, for case number 2. And if he not, I also would join in with the request for a PR bond for that case.
Yeah, he has a PR bond on that one.
Okay, Your Honor, in light of that, then I would ask for a short reset so I can sign him up on the motions to revoke, since those are, he's already pled to those, and that he would be getting jail credit for that.
Okay, so then on CR 21-00055-I, CR 20-08884-I, CR 20-08885-I, on those, you're requesting a plea date then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I have September 14th at 1:30. Would that work?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Cantu, I've already reduced his bond, and I'm not going to give him a PR bond on the assault. So I'm not going to be reducing his bond at this time. However, I'll go ahead and reset those cases as well. So maybe you can talk to him about those 4 cases, because they are offering dismissals on one if he pleads on the other 3. So I don't know. I mean, if he's having mental issues, he's not getting the help he needs in jail.
I agree, Your Honor.
I mean, I don't know is he homeless as well?
No, Your Honor, he lives with his mother, but she also has mental issues. I mean, Robert Puente and I, speak with him constantly.
I mean, I can imagine. And that's what's going to be difficult. But I mean, this is where I come to a crossroads when mental health is involved, because he's not getting the help that he needs when he's in there. And then when he gets out, he's getting picked up again, And so I do want to see how we can resolve these issues, but at the same time, what is going to happen to him? I do get concerned about that, because for me, it's not always about closing a case and then we forget about them. It's also about how are they going to really truly rehabilitate. And if he's not capable of doing that because of mental health issues, then we need to see how can we get him some help. I don't know. I don't know how to get him help on what he needs, but I mean, what I can do is let's revisit that.
Yeah, I guess just to inform the court what happened here, after his mother struggled to come up I think it was only like $500 or less to make the bond when you reduced it to $2,500. So they struggled, they got him out, and then the motions to revoke were filed on the misdemeanor cases. And then I told them he was going to get picked up. They didn't believe me because he just gotten out, and that's what happened actually. So, and I kind of do feel for him, and I think that's why Judge Gonzalez go ahead and gave him a PR bond, because I mean they struggled to get him out, and then the day he files a motion to revoke, about a week later, he gets picked up again, and he, with his mental issues, he didn't understand, why he was picked up again, even though I told him, and I'm sure Robert told him.
I know.
That's what happened
and
here.
it is very hard. It is very hard, but look, why don't we revisit that on September the 14th at 1:30? We're gonna take care of those other 3 cases that Mr. Puente has. And then when we come back, let's see where, let's see if he does actually sign up for the plea, and then we'll revisit those other pending cases. So
Right, Your
let's
Honor.
go back on September the 14th at 1:30. And I mean, if he's getting rowdy there while he's incarcerated, then he may not be on the right meds. He may not be, it's not a good place for him either, so.
Sure.
Okay, so Deputy, you do not have to bring him. Don't call for him. It's fine. I'm going to accept the attorney's announcements on this, and we'll have him set for September the 14th at 1:30 on all of his cases, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cantu, do you have any other case?
No, Your Honor, that's all I have. May I be excused, Your Honor?
You certainly may. Mr. Puente, do you have another case?
Oh, yeah, maybe excuse as well.
You certainly may. Okay, Mr. Sepulveda?
I'm here. I'm just waiting for a plea, Judge.
Okay, you're here on George Eddie Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
And is Mr. Rodriguez present?
He should be, Judge.
George Eddie Rodriguez, are you present?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're gonna take you up in just a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Judge.
Mr. Casares, which case do you have?
Your Honor, I'm standing in for the Honorable Tim Davis. So I hope that's okay with this client as well. He's got number 48 on the docket, Your Honor, Mr. Rogelio Tijerina Peña. And I believe this is, he's seeking to, the pretrial diversion has been accepted and he's ready to plea out, Your Honor.
Okay, CR 21-00993-I, Rogelio Tijerina Peña, are you present?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Ms. Guarenia, do you show that he's ready for placement?
Yes, Judge, he is ready.
Okay. All right, and then Mr. Palacios, what case do you have?
Good afternoon, Judge. I have number 41 and 42 on your criminal docket.
Okay. CR 1410182-I, CR 1410181-I, State of Texas versus Nadia Coronado.
Good afternoon, Judge Sonny Paulson and Ms. Coronado. Judge, as you can recall, we made the announcement last hearing that in the past, this is an old case. It's a over 6 years case. This is has always been approved for PTD. However, we were asking the administration that they could consider an ADR because she is from Houston. She does reside in Houston. Before Mr. Viescas left, we did have an approval when I met with him and Mr. Rodriguez or DA. However, those notes never made it back down. I've been waiting for somebody to head up that position so we can restaff it with them. I don't know who is going to sit in that position, or Mr. Jimenez or Mr. Esquivel is now in that position. So I just need a little bit of time for that, Judge. It's 6 years. She has 0 violations. We end up at the same finish line with the bust down if they would accept it.
Okay, is she on a device?
I don't think so, Judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we need to do something on this soon because this is already a 7-year-old case, and
Yes.
I'm sure she wants to put it behind her as well. So
Yes.
how much time are you requesting?
Judge, the last time I spoke with somebody, I was told they can't make the decision because they're not officially in that position, the number 2. And I don't, as the court would understand, I don't want to go directly to the top. So I'm just waiting for somebody to, and it may be Mr. Esquivel. I'll talk to him. I mean, Mr. Esquivel. Yeah.
Judge, if I may.
Go ahead.
ADA Michael Garza is now the first assistant, so he could make that approval. I do see a note though in June of this year that we're not going to proceed with an ADR, but I understand if the agreement was made before Mr. Viescas left, but it's now Michael Garza and Daniel Gonzalez who you could speak to regarding that.
I'll speak to Mr. Garza, Judge. I'll speak to him this week, by the middle of the next week, Judge.
Okay, let's come back then on September the 28th.
That'd be perfect. We'll have an answer definitely by then, Judge.
Okay, but is she going to be then are we taking her off the plea docket? Are you giving me a status on that day or what?
Judge, we're gonna know one way or the other. Either Mr. Garza says yes or no. So if he says no, then I'll talk to Ms. Coronado.
Okay, well then I guess we'll just leave her at 1:30. So September the 28th at 1:30.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
That does conclude my business, Judge. Might be excused.
You certainly may.
Thank you. I'll be safe, Judge.
Okay, who is Carlos Alberto? Who's your attorney, sir?
Monica Galvan.
Okay, do we have Ms. Galvan present? Have we heard from Ms. Galvan?
No, ma'am.
Okay, can you please, someone in my office, please contact her? Okay, and then Eduardo Bernal. Eduardo Bernal.
Yes. Yes,
Can you please turn your camera on? There you go. Sir, your attorney is in a contested hearing. So I'm going to give you another date on CR 20-07454-I and CR 21-01039-I. Okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and have you come back on September the 28th at 1:30.
Okay.
Okay, sir, you are excused.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. You too. Who's on Arnulfo's iPhone? Arnulfo's iPhone.
Present.
Okay, sir, who's your attorney?
Sergio Sanchez.
Okay, if you can contact Mr. Sanchez's office and let him know that you are ready. Okay, Miss Pamela Jeanette Marroquin. Pamela Jeanette Marroquin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you please turn your camera on?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, who is your attorney?
Monica Calvan.
Okay, if you can contact your attorney and tell her that we are ready to take you up.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. All right, so the only ones that we have ready right now is Mr. Sully's client, Mr. Sepulveda's client, and Mr. Casares' client. Is that correct?
We're ready,
Okay.
Judge.
All right, perfect. Okay, so if I can have Mr. Peña, Deputy, can you please bring forward Luis Cifuentes? Okay, so Mr. Luis Cifuentes, Mr. Peña, and Mr. Rodriguez, I need for you all to please listen very carefully. Raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Cifuentes?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Peña?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You may lower your hands. In CR 1604832-I, in CR 1607113-I, in CR 21-08920-I, and okay, those are the ones that you're pleading to. Is your true and correct name Luis Ángel Cifuentes?
Yes, ma'am.
NCR 21-00993-I, State of Texas versus Rogelio Tijerina Peña. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and in CR 20-05563-I and in CR 20-05562-I in the state of Texas versus Jorge Eddie Rodriguez. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Mr. Cifuentes, you are being charged with assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor, and a secondary offense of assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor, a third assault causing bodily injury on a family member, a Class A misdemeanor. And I will shortly explain to you what a Class A, the range of punishment for the Class A misdemeanor is, sir. Mr. Peña, you're being charged with a harassment charge, a Class B misdemeanor. And Mr. Rodriguez, you're being charged with resisting arrest, search, or transport, a Class A misdemeanor, possession of a controlled substance, PG3, greater than 28 grams. And also, those are the only ones you're pleading to, okay? If you are a defendant with a Class B misdemeanor, your Class B misdemeanors carry a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail, and also a fine of up to $2,000 upon conviction. For the Class A misdemeanors, those carry up to a 1 year punishment in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do each of you understand the range of punishment that you can receive for the offense of which you are charged? Mr. Cifuentes, do you understand? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Peña?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All of you have the right to an attorney and the right to a trial by jury. You can waive one or both of those rights by signing a written document with the court. At this time, I will ask you, did you have an opportunity to review those documents with your attorney before signing it? Mr. Cifuentes, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Peña
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you further understand, gentlemen, and when you signed that document, you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Mr. Cifuentes, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Peña
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the court will accept your waiver of a trial by jury. Has any court ever declared any of you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane, Mr. Cifuentes?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Peña?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Rodriguez?
No, ma'am.
And counselors, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent and able to assist you in their own defense? Mr. Sully?
I do this to Mr. Cifuentes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sepulveda?
I do as to Mr. Rodriguez.
Mr. Cáceres?
Yes, as to Mr. Peña.
Then the court will make a finding that all the defendants before the court and entering a plea today are all mentally competent and able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. Do each of you further understand that if the punishment that I assess does not exceed what's recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission if you decide to file an appeal? Do you understand that, Mr. Cifuentes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Peña
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you further understand that the court does not have to accept the recommendation of the state? Do you understand that, Mr. Cifuentes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Peña?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, I need to ask you, are you a U.S. citizen, Mr. Cifuentes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you are a U.S. citizen now.
I have DACA right now.
Okay, Mr. Peña?
I'm a resident alien.
Okay, and Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you are not a U.S. citizen, then entering a plea or a no contest will result in your deportation, exclusion, or admission from our country and denial of naturalization under U.S. federal law. Do you understand the consequences of your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, who was the one that was a resident? I'm sorry.
Me.
Okay,
Go
Mr.
ahead,
Peña, do you understand the consequences of your plea today, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
and knowing and understanding the consequences of your plea and immigration status, do you wish to proceed with your plea of guilty today, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then in CR 1604832-I to the offense of assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor. Mr. Cifuentes, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In CR 1607113-I to the offense of assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, Mr. Cifuentes? Guilty or not guilty? It's your second offense. It's the second offense.
Guilty.
In CR 2108920-I to the assault causing bodily injury on a family member, a Class A misdemeanor. Mr. Cifuentes, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In CR 2100993-I for the offense of harassment, a Class B misdemeanor. Mr. Peña, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In CR 2005563-I in the state of Texas versus Jorge Eddie Rodriguez for the offense of resist, arrest, search, or transport, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, ma'am.
Okay. And in CR 2005562-I, the state of Texas versus Jorge Eddie Rodriguez for possession of a controlled substance, PG3, greater than 28 grams, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, ma'am.
Okay. And are you entering a plea of guilty freely and voluntarily, Mr. Cifuentes?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Peña
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the court will accept your pleas as being freely and voluntarily given. I will call for state's evidence at this time.
Judge, before the state reads in the evidence regarding Jorge Rodriguez on the plea paperwork for the waiver risk and needs assessment, it's just missing a date that it was signed. The rest of the paperwork was signed on July 21st of this year. Was all paperwork signed on that date?
That's correct, Judge. It was. Can you fill it in, Counselor? That's fine, Judge.
Yes, that's it, Judge. Just want to clarify that for the record.
Okay, thank you.
The state offers plea documents and offense reports as State Exhibit 1, notification, certification, of defendant's right of appeal as State Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures as State Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessments as State Exhibit 4. Regarding the defendant Rogelio Peña, the state offers the PTD pack as State Exhibit 5. State would request that defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. State would also request that defense counsel stipulate to the fact that all evidence that has been e-filed is sufficient evidence to corroborate the plea of guilty.
We so stipulate, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Rogelio Peña.
Same announcements to Mr. Rodriguez.
Announcements to Mr. Cifuentes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
There being no objection from defense counsel as to the exhibits are hereby admitted and approved. Okay, so gentlemen, we're moving on to what we call the sentencing phase, okay? Which means that we're going to put on the record what it is that you're agreeing to us for your plea. So we're gonna do that one at a time, and as soon as you finish with your plea, then you are excused if you have no further business with the court, okay? So let's begin with Mr. Cifuentes. In CR 1604832-I, the state of Texas versus Luis Cifuentes for assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. In CR 1607113-I, in the state of Texas versus Luis Cifuentes, for a secondary offense of assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor, sir, it is the court's judgment that you are guilty as charged. In CR 2108920-I, the state of Texas versus Luis Cifuentes for assault causing bodily injury on a family member, a Class A misdemeanor. It is the court's judgment that you are guilty as charged. And therefore, what is the state's recommendation for Mr. Cifuentes?
Judge, on CR 16-04-832-I, state recommends a $200 fine plus court costs, 1 year Hidalgo County Jail probated over 16 months for the defendant to successfully complete the batter's intervention program, 20 hours of community service, and for the defendant to stay away from the victim, Noe Salinas. On CR 16-07-113-I, state has the same recommendation, but we would include stay away from the victim, Martin Palos. Regarding CR 21-08-920-I, state would have the same recommendation, but for the defendant to stay away from the victim, Juanita Zavala.
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding the cases, Judge, CR 17-10955-I, CR 21-05869-I, and CR 21-05870-I. These cases will be dismissed with the aforementioned pleas.
Okay. And Mr. Sully, any questions on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we just ask if the court can give him any consideration on the court costs and fine, given that he has been found to be indigent and given the amount of time he spent in custody, as well as the fact that it's 3 different cases, so he'd be paying 3 times as much.
Okay. Are you asking that these run concurrent?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you asking for there to be only 1 probation fee?
Yes, yeah, that as well, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Cifuentes, do you have a job when you get out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is that full-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The court is going to grant your attorney's request and run these sentences concurrent. You'll have 1 probation fee. I'm going to waive any CSR hours, provided that you stay fully employed. And I'm going to give you 90 days to pay the court costs and 90 days to pay the fine.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Sully, I'm not gonna, since he's down, I'm gonna run them concurrent and he's gonna have 1 probation fee, so I'm not going to reduce it after all, okay?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
And the rest of the recommendation of the state, I'm going to follow. Okay, anything else? Do you need a phone number? We need a phone number, don't we? Do you have a phone number, Mr. Cifuentes, when you get out?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
It's 956-0803-2934. My wife.
Mr. Cifuentes, you're very privileged to have that DACA status, and hopefully you're still able to keep it. However, you have obviously found yourself in a situation where you have not been able to stay out of trouble. Don't take your freedom in this country for granted, sir. It's hard enough for those of us that are American citizens in order for us to feel safe and productive, and it's a blessing to be on this side, sir, and I know you know that. And apparently it seems to me, because I read up on you, you caught my eye the last time that you were in front of me, because eventually people's luck runs out. And I think this caught up to you, and I really hope it's an eye-opener for you, sir, because you are very young, and you have a bright future ahead of you. You were in school. I hope you return to school. I hope that you do get yourself an education, and I hope that you put this chapter behind you and that you're able to forgive yourself and move on. And I really do wish you the best, and I do wish you the most success, sir, because I want to read great things about you, Luis. I don't want to see you in front of me on the other side in that jail. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, and God bless you.
Likewise, sir. God bless you and best of luck to you. Mr. Sully, anything else?
No, I believe that's all, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Likewise. Okay, Mr. Rodriguez. Okay, sir. In NCR 20-05563-I for the offense of resisting arrest, search, or transport, a Class A misdemeanor. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. NCR 20-05562-I for possession of a controlled substance, PG3 and less than 28 grams. It is the judgment of the court, sir, that you are also guilty as charged. And what is the state's recommendation for Mr. Rodriguez?
State recommends on CR 20-05563-I. State recommends a $200 fine plus court cost, 1 year, Hidalgo County Jail probated over 1 year, the anger management course, the drug patch for 3 months, and 20 hours of community service. On a CR 20-05562-I, state recommends a $200 fine plus court cost, 1 year, Hidalgo County Jail probated over 1 year, the drug education course, the drug patch for 3 months, and 20 hours of community service. The companion cases CR 20-05564-I and CR 20-06329-I will be dismissed with the aforementioned pleas.
Okay, Mr. Sepulveda, any questions or requests on behalf of your client, sir?
We do, Judge. The judgments reflect the $150 fine, Judge. And we're asking for 1 court cost, Judge, 1 probationary fee, Judge. If you could waive CSR, Judge. Also, Judge, there's 2 drug patches being ordered, Judge. We're just asking for 1 drug patch being ordered under 1 cause number, Judge.
Okay, so Ms. Guarenia, can you please confirm if the paperwork reflects $150 fine instead of $200?
Yes, Judge, 1 moment while I pull it up. I pulled up the wrong case. That's correct, Judge. It is reflecting $150. I apologize. The paperwork was from the previous court.
Okay.
Judge, can we have also some leniency on, we're not asking that the drug patch be waived, but it could be like for about 4 or 5 months, Judge, instead of the whole year, Judge.
Okay, I believe the drug patch, they're asking for 3 months if I do.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine, Judge.
So I'm gonna grant your request and run these concurrent. It'll be 1 probation fee, 1 fine, 1 court cost. He'll be on the drug patch for CR 20-05562-I, and it'll be for 3 months. And Mr. Rodriguez, are you currently working?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you working full-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, since he's employed full-time, I'm going to waive his 20 CSR hours, and I'm going to give him 90 days to pay the court costs and 90 days to pay the fine.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, anything else, Counselor?
Oh, that's it. Stay safe.
Okay, and the rest of the recommendation of the state I will follow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Take care.
thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye.
Mr. Rodriguez, I do need a phone number for you, sir.
956-257-3829.
Okay, sir, best of luck to you.
Thanks, Judge. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Now in CR 21-00993-I in the state of Texas versus Rogelio Tijerina Peña, it is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. However, Mr. Peña, you are asking to be placed on the pretrial diversion program. And is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In the pretrial diversion program, that is a contract that you are entering into with the state of Texas, whereby you are agreeing to comply by certain conditions of that pretrial diversion program. In exchange, the state is agreeing to dismiss the charges against you if you successfully complete the program. Do you understand the terms and conditions of that program as they were explained to you by your attorney, Mr. Peña?
Yes, ma'am.
Were there any terms and conditions of that program that you cannot realistically meet, sir?
No, ma'am. I can meet all of them.
Okay. All right. How long is he going to be placed on PTD, Ms. Guarenia?
This would be for a 6-month program, Judge.
Okay.
It'll be March. I'm sorry, Judge. I had March the 6th written down, but I realized for the 2nd. March the 3rd.
Okay. You're going to return on March 3rd?
Okay,
at 9:30.
okay.
And I need a phone number for you.
Yes, ma'am. It's area code 956-929-9137.
Okay, sir. Mr. Casares, anything else on behalf of Mr. Peña?
Judge, I'm sorry, I apologize, I misspoke. It is going to be for a term of 1 year on this on the PTD.
Okay, well, I'm gonna still leave the 6 months so that I can get a PTD status. And then at that time, we'll give them a new date.
Thank you, Judge.
So we'll stay with March 3rd at 9:30 just to see how you're doing.
And Your Honor, if I may, Your Honor, if I may, I know that Mr. Peña has been very, he's showed up every time. He's always been here more so than the average client. The 24 hours of community service, I'm hoping that's something that, because he is working, Your Honor, and I'd rather him spend that time with his children than the 24 hours of community service, Your Honor. I can't tell exactly where he's working from, but it looks like it's a medical program.
Yeah, I'm working in Dallas for COVID with COVID patients.
Okay. So then you as part of that, you were gonna do 24 CSR hours. Can someone confirm that for me?
Yes, that's correct, Judge. That's part of the PTD program.
Okay. So then I'm gonna waive those CSR hours for as long as he's employed. What condition was that?
Number 16, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're gonna waive condition number 16.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else?
Your Honor, only because of his children, Your Honor, if it's possible, to waive.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
If it's possible that we can lower the amount of owed to child support or owed to that's owed under this order, Your Honor.
I can't mess with the fee because that was part of
The agreement.
how they were going to do the recommendation. But what I will do, given that he is working outside of Hidalgo County during this pandemic, I'm going to waive condition G so that he can continue to travel outside of Hidalgo County for work.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. I think that would help, and only because if he's exposing himself to the people that are that sick, Your Honor, I'm not sure if everybody would be still wanting him to come in and visit with him at the office, or if he could call, because he's on a daily basis exposing himself to coronavirus.
Well, I think we have his number, so Ms. Soto is going to contact him. And if he's still working out of town in the line of work that he's in, and they're accepting phone calls or mail reports, they'll work that out with him. Okay?
We'll leave that to them, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, yeah, Ms. Soto is very reasonable, and she understands if he's working as a frontline worker outside of the county. So, and so does this court. So, Mr. Peña, stay safe. Thank you for your service, sir. I know it's not easy, so wishing you the best of luck. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.
You all take care. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I'm excused.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Casares,
Yes, Your Honor.
you might want to tell your client that somebody took a picture of him behind him. If he wants to go back, he can review this YouTube to see it.
Oh, I didn't even notice, Judge.
Oh, I did. So you might want to tell him that somebody took a picture of him.
Oh,
and they were behind him when they took it. So, and they walked right out after. He's welcome to review this. We do keep YouTube up for a little bit. He's welcome to review it so he can see what happened to him.
absolutely, Judge. Thank you, Judge. Thank everybody.
Okay.
God bless.
All right. Okay, Mr. Ramos, what do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm set here on your afternoon family docket. We had a TRO set.
Oh, that's right. Okay, give me a moment. We're not done with let me see. We're almost there.
That's fine. I'll be here waiting, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Galvan, you have Ms. Marroquin?
Yes, Your Honor, I absolutely apologize. I meant to log on and I got busy on a case and it slipped my mind. So I apologize to the court.
Okay. CR 1710304-I and CR 1809532-I, State of Texas versus Pamela Jeanette Marroquin. So Ms. Marroquin.
Your Honor, Ms. Marroquin.
Oh, there she is. Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor, we're set for a plea today. We did receive the plea paperwork. However, in speaking with Ms. Marroquin, she had some issues that she wanted me to look into with her case. We had received some of the discovery, but not all of it. I just realized based on the 3 cases. So we put in a request for that discovery earlier this week and we're asking for a continuance.
Okay, so she has a 3rd misdemeanor case in front of me?
I think one of them is being dismissed.
Okay, because I only have 2 on the docket. Am I missing a cause number for her?
It may have been dismissed already, Judge. That's the one that
okay.
we have the discovery, and I was missing the DWI discovery.
Oh, okay, okay. No problem, Counselor. How much time do you need?
Judge, I would say if you could give us 30 days just to give the state time to get me the discovery on the cases.
Okay, do you want me to change you to a status or you want me to leave you on a plea docket?
Yes, if you could change me to a status for now. If for some reason we decide to go forward with a plea, I can notify your court and change the setting type.
Okay, October 7th at 9:30.
9:30.
Ms. Marroquin, it's going to be in the morning now, okay? So it's October 7th at 9:30.
Okay, Your Honor, no problem.
Okay. Okay, anything else, Ms. Galvan?
Yes, Your Honor. I also have number 35 on your docket, Carlos Vasquez. CR 21-02178I.
Okay, Ms. Marroquin, you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Oh, all right. Okay, so Mr. Vasquez did already check in with us. And what is your announcement, Counselor?
Your Honor, I also need more time on this case. He has a felony out of the 275th District Court. We are set to staff it with Judge Cuellar next week and then possibly plea out the felony, but I don't want to take care of this case until we've taken care of the felony.
Okay, so how much time do you need?
Let me just check something real quick. Carlos Vasquez. We are set for a plea date on him on Wednesday, September 22nd. So if we could have something very close to that day.
On the 22nd? Okay, so then you can come back on September 30th. Do you want to stay on the plea docket or do you want to change to a status?
We can stay on the plea docket, Judge. I'm not sure if they're going to take care of this case with the felony, but if they don't, I would assume that they would ask us to plea out this case as part of the plea offer.
Okay, that'll be September 30th at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. I also had...
Mr. Vasquez, just stay in touch with your attorney and you'll return on September 30th at 1:30, sir. You're excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's all
Y'all
I
have a
have.
wonderful day.
You too.
Maybe excuse, Judge. That's all I have today.
You certainly can. Okay, Ms.
Thank you.
Montes, I did call your case and I gave you more time on it. And your client did check in already.
Okay.
So we told him to return on September 28th at 1:30 to give you an opportunity to see if you're gonna sign him up or not.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Be ready by then.
Okay.
Maybe.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Deputy, do you have Jonathan Garza with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, his attorney just logged in. Mr. Contreras, can you hear me?
Your Honor, yes. Good afternoon, Your Honor. I apologize for the delay. On Jonathan Garza, Your Honor, he's got a pending felony. out of the 92nd District Court, Your Honor. I forgot the date. When is the status hearing on him, on Jonathan Garza? In the 92nd. So that's the announcement I got, Your Honor, on Mr. Jonathan Garza.
Okay, so Mr. Garza, you're here on CR 20-07257-I, CR 21-08642-I, CR 21-08641-I, CR 21-11359-I. Mr. Contreras, I have him set for arraignment. Do you want me to arraign your client right now, or were you going to visit him and file waivers of arraignment?
No, we can do it as we have him here. Might as well go through it, Your Honor, if that's okay with the court.
That's fine, Mr. Garza, please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sir. Is your true and correct name Jonathan Lee Garza?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you are being charged with assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor, possession of a controlled substance, PG3 less than 28 grams, a Class A misdemeanor, a secondary offense of possession of controlled substance, PG3 less than 28 grams, a Class A misdemeanor, and a possession of marijuana for less than 2 ounces, a Class B misdemeanor. Sir, for your Class B misdemeanors, those carry a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. For your Class A misdemeanors, those carry a potential penalty of up to 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Mr. Garza, do you understand the range of punishment that you can receive for the offenses of which you are charged, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? Okay. Mr. Contreras, in speaking with your client, do you find him to be mentally competent and able to assist you in his own defense?
He's competent, Your Honor, and he's been able to assist me regarding his cases before this honorable court, Your Honor.
Okay, so then the court will enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of Mr. Garza on each of those offenses of which he was just arraigned on. The court will further make a finding that he is competent and able to assist you in his own defense. So how much time are you requesting, Mr. Contreras?
Your Honor, let me just clear up something, because I got a whole bunch of files here, and I guess they transfer most of the cases to your court. Is that correct, Your Honor? County Court 2, I believe?
On Mr. Garza, I only have him down here right now for 4 cases. How many other cases does he have?
Well, I have 4 cases as well. I have the possession controlled substance, and yes, he's got 4 cases before the court, I believe.
Your Honor, he's set on the 4th of October in Judge Singletary's court.
Okay, so on the felony, he said for October 4th with Judge Singletary. So I'll have to come back here on the 7th.
Your Honor, that's okay, but what I wanted to ask the court, if you can entertain an oral motion to reduce some of the bonds. I know there's overcrowdedness at the county jail, Your Honor. Most of this offices, except for one, are not against persons. They're possession charges, Your Honor. And for the possession charges, I would ask the court if you can grant PR bonds on those charges, Your Honor, and maybe leave the assault charge as is on the bond, Your Honor. But at least,
Okay, and what is his bond on the felony?
felony right now, Your Honor, he's got a bond of
He was granted a PR bond on the felony, Judge.
Okay.
that's right. We filed the writ, Your Honor. Well, we had filed the writ, but then we ended up in the 92nd. That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Guareña, Mr. Contreras is requesting a PR bond on the possession of marijuana of less than 2 ounces and on the 2 counts of possession of controlled substance PG3 less than 28 grams, ma'am. Do you have a response?
Judge, the state would be fine with offering a $2,000 PR bond regarding the 2 possession charges and the POM. We would ask that he have the condition of having a drug patch. The felony case is also a possession charge. Regarding the assault, Judge, he does have a verification of incarceration. The state would ask for the bond to be set at or reinstated at the amount that it was set at, the $1,000 cash surety, with the condition that he stay away from the victim, Rafael Valles.
Okay, the court is going to grant defense counsel's request on CR 21-08642-I. His bond will be set at a $1,000 PR bond on CR 21-08641-I. His bond will be set at a $2,000 PR bond on CR 21-11359-I. His bond will be set at a at a personal recognizance bond of $2,000. And on CR 20-07257-I, the court is going to reinstate the cash surety bond in the amount of $1,000, and that he is to stay away from the alleged victim in that matter. The court is further going to order that Mr. Garza be placed on a drug patch within 48 hours of his release.
And I believe the 92nd ordered that, but if it didn't, Your Honor, could it just be one drug patch, obviously?
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
he has to be, either he's gonna be on a drug patch as a condition of his felony bond, or he will be on as a condition of ours. If it's with respect to my order, then he is to get it within 48 hours of his release.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Garza, do you have a phone number when you get out, sir?
46-814-6207.
I'm sorry, 62 what?
7.
Can you repeat the whole thing, Mr. Garza, one more time with the area code for the city?
46 area code 814-6207.
I'm sorry, Mr. Garza, I did not catch your area code, sir. What's your area code?
346.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have 346-814-6207. Okay, that'll be the order of the court, Mr. Contreras. Anything else?
No, Your Honor, so we're set for October 7th at in the morning, or it'll be in the afternoon?
I'm setting him at 1:30.
1:30? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you so much for your time, Your Honor. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Sanchez?
I'm there, Your Honor. Thank you for recalling, Judge.
Okay, so you have, let me see. Okay, Mr. Mario Arnulfo Fernandez Cantu, CR 18-11814-I, CR 19-15012-I, and CR 20-09394-I. And that's the state of Texas versus Mario Arnulfo Fernandez. And Mr. Fernandez, clarify for me, you said that on that other racing on highway, that it was actually supposed to be Arnulfo and not Arturo. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. So, Mr. Sanchez, you had stated that perhaps he would be ready for a plea on today's date.
So he works out of town. He's in Victoria, and the job where he's at should finish, he said, within the next 3 weeks. I need to be with him in person to sign this. He'll be coming home, and he and I spoke yesterday about this. It's going to be a plea, of course, subject to approval. I think it's plea to 1 and dismiss 2, all depending on if you accept that. I think it's a reasonable deal. He and I spoke about this at length yesterday. And so we're asking for 30 days, Judge, to anticipate a plea.
Okay, so Ms. Soto, what's his updated report on his device?
From his last court date, Judge, until yesterday, he had 1 missed test on August the 29th.
Okay. So, I mean, you got better, Mr. Fernandez, because the last time you had more than that, and you had late tests and missed tests, but you can't. I know that your job, you explained it the last time too, that it's very demanding, but you have to just try to have 0 violations the next time, okay?
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I'm trying my very best.
I understand that, sir, and I can tell, because you've made great improvement from the very first time that you came in front of me. So I do want to acknowledge that. However, we need to get to 0 violations, because when you get placed, if you decide to take a plea and you get placed on probation, they're going to ask for you to continue on that mobile device for a certain time period. So if you can't do it right now, that it's a condition as your bond, you're not going to be able to do it as a condition of your probation. So if you get stuck because your hours at work change or something, all you have to do is communicate. communicate to Ms. Soto, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what's your phone number again?
956-313-2534.
Who does he have his device with?
Safety 10, Judge.
Okay. Okay. So, then we'll go ahead and he's gonna be back in 3 weeks, you said?
Mr. Cantu, is that correct? Is that what you told me yesterday?
Yes, sir. They should finish in about 3 weeks, more or less.
Okay, let's come back on October 7th at 1:30. That should give you plenty of time to have him complete his job, come down, sign the paperwork, and get him signed up.
Yes, ma'am. Judge, he did also want me to raise a condition. He's been, I believe, on, I'm not sure, AIP. I'm not sure what sort of restriction he has, obviously the machine. But it's going on 2 years. It may have already passed 2 years. So we're just asking for a ruling of the court, or maybe that you hold this over to the date of the plea. You've obviously allowed him to travel for work to Victoria County. But we're just wanting to address those restrictive conditions, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Soto, are you showing that, is he on AIP or what's he on that's restrictive?
Judge, he's been on AIP since October 25th of 2019. The last court hearing, you advised that he was going to be traveling to Victoria to work. So while he's in Victoria County, AIP cannot supervise him, Judge, or monitor him. He does have a probation officer, Ms. Moreno, who he reports to on a monthly basis. So I don't know if you want to keep him on AIP, remove him, or just have him report with Ms. Moreno until this case is disposed of.
Okay, well, Mr. Sanchez, right now that he's working in Victoria, he's not even reporting to AIP technically. They're not watching him. He does need to continue to stay in contact with Ms. Moreno. So, I mean, if we conclude it, it may be a moot point.
Understood. Yes, ma'am.
So just continue doing good, okay? And then we'll hopefully dispose of this in October,
Thank you, Judge.
okay? Now, I don't think anything further. Do you have any other case this afternoon?
Your Honor, I had some this morning, Eugene Miklik, Mikulik.
Okay, all your clients this morning checked in with the exception of that one.
So he's a student at A&M, Judge. He's a good kid. I've seen this kid grow up. He's one of my oldest son's best friends. I would ask respectfully that you not sign off on a nice eye. I mean, of all my clients, I know Gene. I know his mom, Melissa. I know his dad, Gene. Great family. For me, I know he's doing well. I think he's a senior at A&M. And we had submitted a PTD sometime back. The program is designed for somebody like him. I would just ask for time, Judge, for me to get him in. I don't know what happened.
Okay, so I didn't take a nice eye on him unless you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Damian. I don't think he's one that we took a nice eye on. Is that correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay, I didn't take a nice eye on him and I didn't give a new date for him, nor for Mr. Flores, nor for Miss
Salazar?
Yes, it's on, isn't it for Luzvina? I don't remember her last name.
And yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Yes, Salazar, okay. So the clients that you had this morning were Cirilo Flores Jr., Eugene Mikulek, Sergio Serna, Luzvina Salazar. Ms.
Yes, Your Honor.
Salazar and Mr. Flores showed up. Mr. Serna and Mr. Mikulek did not show up.
Okay, Your Honor.
So I need for you to look at your calendar and see what date you're open to be present with your clients, because I understand you've been in federal court a lot. So I'm gonna give you that opportunity. So I advise my staff to contact your office. They're gonna contact them tomorrow. So I need for you to look at a calendar within the next 30 to 45 days, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else?
No, and the courtesy judge, it was in person, Judge Hinojosa today. It was at least 3 hours. I was in there with no phone, and it was just a rough morning, Judge.
I understand, but when we have a federal court, I would expect that a motion for continuance be filed.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and I understand federal court is a different beast, and I get it. But I'll always work with you all if we communicate with one another.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so that way by tomorrow, look at your calendar, and then one of my it's either Miss Rivera, Miss Castañeda, or Mr. Damien will contact your office so we can reset those clients of yours.
Thank you very much, Judge. And of course, they're at the office. And as always, I'm available on text as well.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so Deputy, I do not have any other attorneys. The attorney that I have on right now is for civil matters. So who do you have left? Do you have anybody left?
Yes, ma'am. I have Hernandez Obispo and Rocha David Sanchez.
Okay, let me see. I'm not showing those on our docket. Are they from my court?
On Mr. Obispo Hernandez, he was reset to the 21st of September, and David Rocha was reset to the 28th of September. Both of them have felonies pending.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you, Deputy. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Y'all stay safe.
No problem, too. Stay fully dressed.
I know, you all over there. Okay, we are now concluded. Hold on, let me make sure before I give Mr. Ramos my undivided full attention. All right, the only one we have not showed is number 53 on the criminal docket, which is CR 21-00713-I, State of Texas versus Ruben Navarro Solis. Do we have anyone, any calls in or anything on that case? Nope. Okay. Mr. Damien, please call out Ruben Navarro Solis.
Yes, ma'am. Ruben Navarro Solis. Ruben Solis. Ruben Solis.
Okay, the defendant's name being called out 3 times and no response. What says the state?
State requests a judgment NICE be granted, a capias issued, and all bonds forfeited for this no-show defendant.
That'll be granted. Okay, moving on to the civil docket. Okay, F3836-21-9 in the matter of the marriage of Ileana Hernandez and Isidro Zamora. Mr. Ramos, your announcement?
Good morning, Your Honor. Juan Ramos here on behalf of the petitioner Ileana Hernandez. Your Honor, this is our first setting. We filed a TRO on this case, and we've been trying to obtain service on the respondent, but he's currently out of state. And he's called my process server and is going to avail himself this weekend to receive those documents.
Okay, so you're requesting an extension?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize. Yes, we're requesting this extension so that way we can have another setting and Mr. Zamora can be served.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, it'll be, Ms. Rivera, can you check if on the 15th, we can do it at 11 or?
One second, Judge, I do believe that we have a contested matter that morning. My docket is loading. We do, Judge, we do have a contested matter at 11.
Okay, and at 2?
We have a contested matter as well, Judge.
Well, let me ask you, Mr. Ramos, in your conversations with the respondent, does it, or in you looking over your case, do you anticipate that this will be contested?
What I've been described, I believe it might be, Your Honor, because I think there's substantial property.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give you setting for September the 15th at 1:30 for right now, okay? Just because I can't let it go past the 14 days. So we'll do it for September 15th at 1:30. Make sure that you file your order resetting hearing or your amended TRO today so that it can be forwarded to my queue. Once you file it and it's accepted, call my court so that it can be forwarded for signature, okay? The other thing that I was going to say is that what we're gonna do, since he's already saying that he's going to avail himself to service this weekend, I'm gonna ask for my staff to expedite an order of referral of mediation, okay? And so that we'll get that to you so you can also serve him with those papers at the same time.
We will, and that actually will probably help this case tremendously because there aren't any minor children.
Okay, so it's property only.
Mhm.
Oh, those are sometimes the worst because people don't like to separate with their money.
Certainly.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. My staff will make a notation that we're gonna have an order of referral done on this. We'll get it sent out to you along, but submit your amended TRO with the new date. If you'll fill in the new date of September 15th at 1:30, I'll sign off on it. We'll get that sent back to you, get your package together for the citation, the amended citation. And because you're gonna have to have a new citation issued with a new setting on it. So once you get that, hopefully you can get all that done before Friday at 5 o'clock.
We will.
This is a part of family law that I do not miss when I was in private practice. Trying to get the clerk's office to get the citation and all that. And I like technology to a certain extent, but I remember in the good old days, literally good old days, you could just run to get the court's file, physical file. There was a paper file, and then we'd run to the judge's chambers, and then we'd run back down and beg for a citation. So now it's all electronic. So good luck to you on that.
Now it's all crossing your fingers. You're right.
For sure. For sure. So we'll get that order of referral to you, and then that way we can make sure that you also help the court by serving him with those papers as well. Okay?
We'll do, Your Honor.
The court will grant you a restraining order extension, and we'll see you back here on September the 15th at 1:30, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Your Honor. May I please be excused?
You certainly may, sir.
Take care.
Okay, and that concludes today's docket. I'm going to stop the live